And that's how we learned about the mystical powers of the Leviathans. That's it. Let's go to bed.
No, Daddy, can we read another book?
We can read one more book. This one's my favorite.
Thank you, Daddy. I love you.
Abyssal Basin. Traveler's Gorge. The light shines west, a tunnel cut through a thick forest. The energy of the obelisk has carved a wide path. The overhang is yet to grow back, as if fearful of reprise. Peering through the Traveler's Gorge. Surrounding the obelisk is a soaking wet grassland that leads into different areas of the region. As with all regions, the obelisk feels purposefully placed at the region's center. To the south, the grassland fades into quicksand and swamp. To the north, a dense forest wall with giant root-like branches overhead guides travelers into the darkness of Abyssal Grove. Opposite of the gorge is an entrance to Last Ripples. Slow. Southeast is slow, an unforgiving swamp where giant titanicus mushrooms overwhelm the horizon. The ground is thick mud, with patches of swamp grass and knee-deep streams. The air, sulfuric, due to gas bubbles to the surface from the core. Swamp flowers dotting dry patches of topsoil radiate faint light, bright enough to see through the fog. Bordering Bluewood. Titanicus mushrooms grow wide before breaching the surface and erupting from the swamp. They unheave the soil as they reach into the sky, carrying smaller flora, an unsettling sight. These mushrooms share nutrients through gigantic root systems, only found alive and slow. They cannot sustain themselves in other regions, rarely grow elsewhere. Giant collapsed husks bordering Bluewood form a natural bridge over abyssal drift, moss-filled rapids that course the region's breath. Bluewood Noon. The southwest area of Abyssal Basin owes its name to the eponymous Bluewood giants. These towering hardwoods constantly absorb and expel water, causing extreme humidity that tints the atmosphere blue. Bluewood at night, becoming greenwood. Knee-deep streams and small rivers divide the giant trees. Many plants and flowers grow on the drier patches of land, surrounded by tepid water. The ground is usually colorful, containing any assortment of hues dispersed in the soil, not unlike the rainbow bark trees of the north. At night, the soil fluoresces, illuminating land and water, turning Bluewood into greenwood. Last Ripples. North of Bluewood lays Last Ripples, which bridges Bluewood and Abyssal Grove. Last Ripples is naught but a boneyard for Leviathan. Bones fossilized in a bygone era create a scaffolding for plants to grow on, over, and underneath. This is the view from Bluewood. The Skeleton Islands form a bridge between Bluewood and Abyssal Grove. Root system on the edge of Last Ripples. The countless overgrown rib cages and skulls create natural islands, bridging the deep water to the more swampy and open area of Bluewood. To the north, near the Abyssal Grove border, the tree's complex root systems disappear as the water deepens. Abyssal Grove. To the north of the obelisk is Abyssal Grove, the region's most extensive area. A thick, dense, mangrove-like forest spans the region's entire width. Due to lack of sunlight, the ground and water have faint bioluminescence, similar to the effect in Bluewood. Two paths extend from the obelisk, cutting through the forest, leading to Taiga's Boreal and Sanctum Mesa. The trees of Abyssal Grove are endless. Complex root systems intertwine, creating islands and surfaces for other plants to grow. Giant nipa palms grow in several places in the forest. So immense, they form an impenetrable forest canopy. Sunlight peeks through, imitating the stars. The native plants find ways to harness the radiation from the plant's core, countering the lack of sunlight. Almost every tree, flower, and bush creates light that others absorb. Illuminating the dark forest. The forest is deadly and poisonous, but beautiful still. The bark of the rainbow trees is multicolored, with fungi so enormous it grows into platforms one could stand on. Remains litter the ground here. Foot travel is near impossible. Abyssal pumpkins. Glowing abyssal pumpkins fill some forest patches, an odd plant that grows like a fungal mesh, spanning kilometers. Their fruit features translucent magenta skin and a glowing inner core that contrasts the dark blue-green environment. Caldrix Eld is an ancient tree with a hollow root structure near the eastern border. It resembles a giant cave entrance from the outside, drawing you in. However, descending through the root system leads to a flooded root system, an immediate dead end. End of Abyssal Grove. The Abyssal Grove ends at sea in the north, where the dark clouds band together to form an impressive storm front. Lightning shoots across the horizon, thunder close behind, contrasting the open, clear sky above the Abyssal Basin. The obelisk undoubtedly plays part in this diverse weather system. The end.